Ladies and gentlemen, this RedGaming.com video, we're going to be talking all about Nintendo's NX console. Specifically, a series of rumours which have popped up over the past 24 or so hours, which, if true, mean that everything we knew about the architecture of the upcoming system is indeed completely wrong, so much so that it basically turns everything upside down. For example, AMD are not going to be involved in the project, instead Nvidia will be. We will see an ARM-based system, not x86, and the performance of the machine is nowhere close to that of the PlayStation 4. In fact, even the Xbox One considerably outpaces it, once again assuming all of these rumours are accurate. So, let's begin, shall we? The first set of these rumours come from Emily Rogers on her own blog. I'm going to read out some of the quotes verbatim. After speaking to 7 different people this week, I can say with confidence that these rumours are false. The NX is not using the x86 architecture like the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. The NX has a special, custom-made chips, and overall design of the hardware is, quote, very modern. The chips are industry-leading because they're very modern chips, but having modern chips doesn't necessarily mean Nintendo are aiming to create the most powerful hardware on the market. Furthermore, any NX rumours on Polaris or the Polaris architecture are all wacky, quote, and there's a good reason why these rumours are wacky. Furthermore, in terms of raw power, numerous sources tell me the NX is much closer to the Xbox One than the PlayStation 4, and even that might be stretching it. Anyone who is claiming that the NX is 2 times the power of the PlayStation 4 GPU is being misled by their sources. Based on what I've heard, I don't believe that NX will compete directly with the PS4 Neo or PS4K in terms of raw power. So, okay, these rumours, these next rumours, are based on the handheld. Now, just so everyone's clear, I don't think anyone really knows what the difference is between the handheld and the console you plug into your TV at this point. In fact, Nintendo have hinted that NX is more of a code name for the project. So, it could be the NX console and the NX handheld are different architectures. It could be that they're very similar architectures, or it could be that they are one and the same, and if it's plugged into a high-end power source, in other words the mains, your wall socket, it transforms itself. Honestly, we just don't know. There have even been some local compute rumours regarding this NX hardware, so it's completely up in the air. But let's talk about Nvidia's involvement. So Nvidia supposedly are going to be donating their Tegra-based socks. These rumours come to us from Semi-Accurate. So why is this? Well, supposedly Nvidia were not very happy about the fact that both Microsoft and Sony decided to go all of the way to AMD. And despite the fact that Nvidia said, we don't really care, internally, if these rumours are to be believed, they didn't really like the idea because they felt that they'd lost some pride, maybe some kudos in the industry. So essentially, Nvidia told the negotiation team, you need to get a contract win or a quote, go home. Then Nintendo just happened to be moseying along and say, oh, by the way, dudes, we're basically making a new system, would you be interested? And from what Semi-Accurate are proposing, they are saying that Nvidia may even be taking a loss on the deal. And they are not only offering software and hardware support, but the entire ecosystem that would be surrounding it. Now, what we don't know is the generation of Tegra or the process node. Do remember that Nvidia have just, of course, or are just releasing Pascal, but whether they are using an up-to-date Tegra, which is using a current iteration which is available to customers, or a future one, we just don't know. Furthermore, we don't know if this is going to be used on the home console, as I just mentioned, or if it's going to be solely for the handheld. Now, these are really weird rumours. What does it mean? Well, one thing we do know for absolute certainty is back last year, the second half of 2015, AMD mentioned in their financial report about new semi-custom design wins. Now, everyone immediately said, well, logically, that must mean that AMD are going to be providing Nintendo the architecture, right? It just made sense. However, now it's not so clear, because it may mean that the PlayStation 4 Neo, the Xbox Next, whatever the hell that ends up being called, and we know for certain that AMD have been courting Apple recently. They're putting out GPUs for them, and supposedly they have been talking with one another regarding new APUs as well. So it's possible that it could be that those three companies are the three design wins, and Nintendo really don't have anything to do with AMD. I'm not really sure how I feel about all of this, assuming they are accurate, because it's like, first of all, the NX would not be as powerful as the Xbox One, the current Xbox One. Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I guess from Nintendo's perspective, it depends on what all of the other competitors are doing, and I guess also the adoption rate of the other systems. For example, let's say Microsoft also announce another Xbox, and therefore the developers start to really push that. By the time 2017/18 rolls around, I have a feeling that regular users are going to start adopting the more powerful systems, and therefore the market share of those is going to increase quite a bit. Therefore, it's going to be very interesting how many developers are going to start really courting Nintendo, who have a less powerful system than even the original Xbox One. But how much of a difference and how much of this actually turns out to be true, I just don't know. It's absolutely crazy and bizarre. What about the handheld and Tegra? Well, Tegra is very powerful. There's no doubt about that. In fact, Nvidia themselves have pointed many benchmarks which show the various Tegra handhelds are more powerful than, let's say, the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 in terms of GPU performance, floating point performance. So they do kick butt. So presumably, especially if it's going to be a Pascal based APU, or rather SoC, we could see quite a lot of performance on Nintendo's upcoming handheld. It's an absolute bizarre situation, and honestly I would have thought there had been some real solid leaks by now. These rumours don't do anything, unfortunately, because we don't know which rumours are accurate and which rumours are not accurate, because you can be an industry insider but then get bad information from your source, or your source could just have poor information. Or it could be that the source was told A and B, but the reality is they're not sure which one's actually accurate, so they're just kind of making an educated guess. It is a lot he said, she said, they said, unfortunately, which is somewhat frustrating. And because there haven't really been that many official release statements from Nintendo, I mean, they did kind of hint some stuff about the NX, but it's so vague. They might as well have just have said, dudes, we're making a new console, it's going to be released at some point in the near future, it's going to play games and stuff. That's pretty much what we've got. I mean, there are even rumours, as you might recall, that we're going to see the NX not have bloody DVDs or Blu-rays or some type of optical media. It could just be cartridge based. But because once again the rumours are so, they're based upon chips, so whether those chips are going to even become part of the home console, whether they're going to just be for the handheld, which is a good possibility. If they are going to be using a high-end Tegra chip, it means that there's a good amount of hardware performance, therefore they're going to need good quality textures, good quality graphics, large amounts of data, of course, to actually hold all that stuff together. It's just a bit crazy. And honestly, if you were to fast forward back in the mists of time, go in a time machine, look at the date right now, go back about a year, go back to when the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One were about a year before their release, we actually knew more information about both of those systems. Not, everything, not necessarily the exact clock speeds or, all of their release lineup or what all the joypad looked like, or their external design, but we had a basic understanding of what the architecture of the system has essentially been. So it's really kind of crazy that Microsoft and Sony failed to keep such a tight lid on it. Even Sony with the PlayStation 4 Neo, I think the company have really managed to step up their privacy right now. Is of course Microsoft and Xbox next, and Nintendo is just absolutely crazy how they've managed to keep this secret. And there have been some leaks, but now it's like, even if Bob was to come along and Bob was to show you a prototype design of the NX, he was to show games which were potentially running on it, and he was to show like a new Mario, for example, and he was to show architecture designs, you could conceivably say, no, that's all fake and it's just some dude who's created a short bit of footage using Unreal Engine or something like that. And it's absolutely bizarre how secretive Nintendo have managed to be. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.